I want to welcome South Texas College President Dr. Shirley Reed to our Future RGV discussion on how this COVID-19 is affecting the planning for STC students to continue their education this fall. And I am so grateful to see Dr. Reed wearing her face mask. It is so important. Thank you, Dr. Reed, for caring about the rest of us and wearing the mask. And I will say that Felipe Salinas, our moderator, and I are not wearing a mask because both of us are at home, washing our hands, staying safe, not going anyplace. So we will wear our mask when we go out, but at home we're not. So with that said, I would like to thank the Future RGV sponsors, and I don't have a banner, but here they are. Thank you. They help us to put on these 20-minute discussions, which will be, of course, on our Future RGV Facebook page, YouTube, and other social media for further viewing. And our Future RGV moderator, Felipe Salinas, will review with Dr. Reed these STC plans and opening education opportunities in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic. And now, Felipe, I will turn this over to you and Dr. Shirley Reed to help us understand what we are learning to help our educators and our students cope with this COVID-19 pandemic. Felipe?
Thank you, Nedra. Thank you very much. Dr. Reed, welcome to today's interview.
Well, good morning. Looking forward to it.
Great. Well, we're glad that you're with us. As Nedra said, this week we're featuring a couple of our higher education partners. My first question, I guess, we all know that South Texas College, like every other organization in the community, has been preparing for the start of the fall 2020 semester for some time now. And of course, you've been operating over the summer also. Can you give us the highlights of how that process has been carried out and what those plans include in terms of distance versus in-person instruction, as well as what it might mean for faculty and staff?
I have to say, we were very well prepared for this unfortunate pandemic. We've had a virtual campus for quite some time where we provide online classes, online student services. Every semester we'll have about 6,000 students taking online classes. So we had a good head start. That doesn't mean it was without challenges. We have invested in training, preparing our faculty, preparing our staff to continue delivering all the critical services students need, as well as quality instruction. We have put in place a massive professional development program whereby our faculty now have to be certified in providing distance learning instruction. We're ready. Among the challenges are the public perception, and I don't know if you want to talk about that now or maybe a little later.
Sure. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Well, I have many concerns, let me tell you that, but one paramount concern is the perception that students should take a break. Let me sit it out a year. Let me see what happens. And the reason I'm concerned is data and research shows over and over again, if you don't start college upon completing high school, the odds are you never will get there. If you don't start, you'll never finish, and you'll find yourself 5, 6 years from now with a family, 3 kids, no job skills, no degree. So my concern is don't stop out. It's painful, it's difficult, it's stressful, but find a way to navigate the new system, the new technology. everyone can do it.
I see. So, can you tell us a little bit about the mix of online versus in-person classes planned for the fall? Are some of them going to have to be in person because of the type of class that are being offered and so forth? I would
We
imagine that
have,
I would imagine that would be the case at a community college that also offers technical certifications and so forth, where there's a lot, people are learning for skills that they need to practice, correct?
absolutely. We have a variety of options. We've been offering them this summer and will continue in the fall. Approximately 80% of our courses will be online.
Okay.
And we're modifying and responding to the demand. If students want in-person classes, we're trying to accommodate them. But we also have to provide the appropriate social distancing, be very cautious about how students are going to enter classrooms, exit classrooms, possibly congregate. Our real challenge are those technical programs that are hands-on, skill-based. So those we are having to limit to 9 or 10 students, where we may normally have 20 or 25 students. We're trying to train peace officers, nurses, phlebotomists. Can't do all of it online. So we're using a hybrid model that is a combination of online as well as in person. Cover the content you can online and then have in-person sessions with a small number of students. So we have a wide variety of options for students, and I encourage students, check out the options, find out what might be best for you so that you can continue your college education.
I see. So you mentioned, for example, for those classes where there will be some in-person contact also, that you'll be instituting smaller sections, social distancing, so forth. What else can you tell us about what is the college is doing to ensure the health and safety of students, faculty, and staff? What other measures are you trying to put into place?
We're being very mindful of the density of students and staff on campus and reducing the density by having maybe 50% of our faculty and staff working from home. We're also trying to control student access to campus. For example, students want to come to campus to register, process financial aid. The tradition is you come to campus, you bring your mom, your dad, 3 kids. We're having to restrict that so that we're doing it by appointment. We will see you at 1:15. You come alone, you bring your mask. This is how you enter in a very secure environment, and this is how you exit. And then we have the appropriate sanitation after each activity, as well as the boom and plexiglass. There's plexiglass everywhere.
Yeah. Wow. So are you all setting any additional sanitizing stations or hand washing stations, things like that around campus, also around your campus?
We have it up everywhere. You walk in, you can immediately sanitize. We have the signage everywhere advising everyone to wear a mask. And we've had tremendous cooperation. We haven't had any pushback, any resistance. The biggest problem is we'll forget our mask in our car and we just, run back and we're ready to go.
Right.
But we're taking all the precautions. We do have the devices where I'm here in the boardroom. When I exit, they will come in and sanitize this area. We also have the technology where they come in and the machine goes poof, 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 and the whole room is sanitized. So we're doing everything we can for the safety of everyone.
Yeah. So one of the issues that I know that we've interviewed recently is some of our superintendents also, and we know that a big issue for students in the Valley is a lack of or limited internet access to internet service or other kinds of technology-related obstacles to distance learning. What is STC doing to assist students for this fall who have those kinds of challenges, especially with such a large course load that is going to be delivered through virtual means?
It is a serious concern, and it's not new, it's long-standing. We learned when we launched our virtual campus, didn't have access to hotspots, didn't have access to Wi-Fi, didn't have access to the internet, students didn't have the technology. And we learned immediately that students taking online classes wanted to come to campus to our computer labs to use for online classes. So we are still dealing with that. Our communities just don't have adequate coverage. I applaud the recent development in Donna, where the school district has taken upon itself to establish the hotspots for students. It's a very serious challenge. As long as students can come to the campus, even if it's to the parking lot, they have access to Wi-Fi or by appointment, they can come in and use our computer labs. But it's a serious concern, and it's a lesson to all our communities. You have long heard about the digital divide.
Yes.
All of this is absolutely enhancing that digital divide, and there will be serious consequences, and they are beginning to be apparent.
Yeah, that sounds, I mean, from what we heard from the superintendents, talking to yourself and other higher education leaders, that's something that maybe finally is going to get some attention across the state, that we need to do more to get more access to more of our communities. We understand that, like most colleges, South Texas College received some emergency funding from the CARES Act a couple of months ago. How has STC utilized or earmarked the use of those funds so far? I mean, what are, I believe they came with some strings attached. You could use some of the funds or only for certain things. Could you give us a little bit of a breakdown on that?
There have been 3 primary grants under the CARES Act. The first one is emergency financial assistance to students. And we were directed to make it available to students who were enrolled in the spring semester. No questions asked. Fill out an application. Do you have a need for financial assistance, for food, for rent, for gas, for daycare, whatever? It was not designed to provide tuition or textbooks. It was basic financial assistance to students. We received $10 million to provide that kind of assistance. And I got the numbers here. We have served over 7,200 students. Each of them have received an award of $600. And the balance of that money will be used for fall students who need assistance just for basic services. Okay. The other one was designed to assist the institution in this transition to online. And we have used that money to pay for faculty, technology, professional development, because we are funded based on student attendance. If we didn't offer the classes, we'd be out of business. So we were able to use this money to maintain our instructional services. And we also have another revenue stream that is designed for minority serving institutions. We are a Hispanic serving institution. And under this, it's a couple of $1 million, but we're going to be able to provide modest stipends or scholarships to students who are in our dual credit program in high school and haven't quite finished a degree. This will be some assistance to, okay, you finished high school, you're almost done, come to South Texas College, complete that degree. And the other one is what we're going to call the last dollar program. These are micro scholarships where you're short $500, $300, And that can make the difference as to whether you attend college or not. We have so many students who say, but I still owe $300, I can't attend. We will use this funding to pay off that debt, get a fresh start so they can continue in college. So we're using these funds for direct services to students. That's what it's about.
Great, great. Especially I could see the investment in the technology and the training and so forth for your faculty with having to shift more instruction to online. That must have been really, really helpful. So Dr. Reed, the pandemic has forced every sector of our community to navigate uncharted waters and learn how to fulfill our missions in very different ways. So what would you say as president of the college has been the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout all of this, personally? I mean, what is your big takeaway from all of this?
Well, you had given me that question, and I gave it a little thought, and I thought, maybe my response isn't very profound, but it is sincere. What I have really learned is the value of face-to-face interaction and communication, the power of that. Now, you and Nedra are sitting there without your masks in your home. I see the smile. I see all the facial expression. Sure. Nobody can appreciate my great smile and how happy I am and how excited I am. So I have a whole new respect for face-to-face interpersonal communication. Zoom is just never going to replace being able to sit down and talk to each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. It's kind of like Joni Mitchell said, you don't always seem to go, you don't know what you've got till it's gone, right?
Right.
Well, hopefully the day's coming soon where we're going to be able to do these kinds of things in person. So as you look ahead, I mean, now I guess I appreciate that personal reflection. I mean, that's a very honest one. Obviously, I think we've heard that from so many of us, how much we're going to appreciate all that. But putting on your college president hat, as you look ahead, what do you think are some of the longer term implications of these past few months for higher education? I mean, what do we as a community or a state need to address in terms of either policy or operations to ensure we're better prepared to face these kinds of situations in the future?
Well, we've already talked about what I think is the number one priority. We have to address the availability of access to internet throughout our entire community. We've reached the point where access to the internet is like having electricity, having a gas line, having a water line. You cannot function without it. And that divide is going to be exasperated because of this process. The have-nots are going to find themselves further and further behind. The gap in educational attainment level is going to increase. The lack of college readiness is going to increase. I'm sure there's going to be an impact on the high school graduation rate. It's going to impact the college going rate, the college graduation rate. All of these are factors which drive our economy, which are critical to preparing our workforce so that our economy stays competitive globally. I am very concerned, and I know I share these concerns with Dr. Bailey and every superintendent in the Valley. We're committed to work together to address this, but it really is an equity issue. We've long known about it, but we just haven't been as proactive. We've not had the financial resources. Maybe we haven't had the commitment. Maybe we didn't realize how critical it is. Well, it is in our face now, and it needs to be addressed. Wow.
Well, so that's one thing that maybe we should keep an eye on as the legislature reconvenes this coming fall and with the elections coming soon. So that is something that we maybe should be all advocating for. Well, thank you, Dr. Reed, for spending a few minutes with us and for the update that you've given us. And wish you all the best as you get ready for the fall. But thank you for joining us once again on this discussion with Futura RGV.
It's been fun. Looking forward to hearing some feedback and looking forward to hearing what my colleagues have to share.
Great.
Have a great day and be safe.
Thank you so much.